Gentlemen, we have had a meeting of the Central Committee of the ODM party. Central Committee is the organ of the party that deals with managerial issues in the party and also issues of policy. We have had a comprehensive meeting today, and we have a statement which is going to be read to you by the Secretary General, Honorable Edwin Sifuna.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We proceed straight to the statement of the Central Committee meeting of 2nd July 2024. And it is titled, "This is Kenya's Last Best Chance." The Central Committee of the party has this morning held a meeting to deliberate on the ongoing crisis in Kenya. This meeting is happening at a most difficult time for our country, given all that has happened in the last few weeks. We are acutely aware that many families are still in mourning, having lost their loved ones, with civil society groups estimating that over 30 young Kenyans fell to the regime bullets in the course of the street protests. Many of these families are yet to bury these victims. On behalf of the entire ODM party, the Central Committee extends its deepest condolences to all those who have lost their loved ones and pray that God will comfort them in this time of tragedy. We also know that many were injured and some are still in hospital. We wish all of them quick recovery. We are in awe of the Kenyan youth who, through their unity of purpose, have stood with their fallen colleagues and raised vast sums of money in very short times to pay hospital bills for the injured. As a mass movement that has been on this journey of true liberation for a long time, we know how difficult it is to achieve some of the things that we have seen you do. You have absolutely earned our respect as a party, and we salute you. As believers in the right to peaceful protest as enshrined under Article 37, we condemn in the strongest terms possible the abuse of police power in the deployment of violent suppression techniques on innocent and armed protesters. Our position is that no one has to die in exercise of the rights under Article 37. We further condemn the ongoing arbitrary abductions of innocent Kenyans who are carted away in the most violent and inhumane manner and held incommunicado for days. As we speak, the reports are that upwards of 50 individuals have been illegally abducted and their whereabouts remain unknown. To make it worse, it is clear that no one in government is ready to take responsibility, to render an apology, or to make amends. The head of state himself has tried to distance his regime from these killings, injuries, and abductions, instead conjuring up theories when everyone can see the blood on his hands. We have the most callous, insensitive, and obtuse regime in the history of Kenya. It is no wonder that chants of Ruto must go are ringing out all across our land. Government must never abdicate its responsibility to protect life and the property of its citizens. And if it does, as Ruto has done, it deserves to go. As a party that was founded on the tenets of social justice, we shall walk the journey of bringing about justice and accountability for all of the regime's crimes since they took power. We stand with the people in their quest to liberate themselves politically, socially, and economically. Kenyans asked us to stand with them against the punitive tax proposals in the finance bill, and we did. Of the 115 members of the National Assembly who stood with the people and voted against the bill on the floor, 73 were in fact members of ODM. We applaud these great patriots and thank them for being true representatives of the people. As a party, we celebrate you for being on the right side of history, and the party has charged the Honorable Opiyo Wandayi and the Whip Junet Mohammed to convey this message to each individual member who stood with the people of Kenya. Sadly, a few of our members went against the wishes of the people and sided with the oppressor, and we will speak to the consequences shortly. In light of this state of affairs, the meeting has resolved as follows. Number one, that it is time for all of us in the political leadership to to begin to listen. Listen to what the people are saying and not to our own voices. The young people have spoken in plain language that should be clear to everyone. Let's not be vague. Let's just do what the young people are telling the government to do. Number 2, we consider this to be Kenya's last best chance. The youth have given our country our last best chance. We either seize it and swim with it by implementing all their demands, or we ignore it and sink the country altogether. Number 3, that the Kenya Kwanza regime must take full responsibility for all the deaths, injuries, and destruction of property arising from the violent suppression of peaceful protests. The president must publicly direct his security organs to forthwith seize the ongoing abductions, an exercise that we believe is being undertaken with his full approval and the approval of the state. He must account for and order the release of all detainees abducted by these security agencies. Number 4, that the Independent Police Oversight Authority must expedite investigations into all these incidents, including allegations of mass murder by police in Githurai and in Rongai. We were shocked to watch the president claim on live television that only one life was lost. It tells you how out of touch with reality he is. Number 5, that in our view, what happened on the 25th of June 2024 amounted to a vote of no confidence in the Ruto regime. It is clear that this fact is totally lost on Ruto. It is reflected in his petulant proposals on how we manage our economy following the rejection of his tax bill. Instead of focusing on cutting wastage, opulence, and corruption in his regime, he is hitting back at the Kenyan people with threats to cut funding for the judiciary and the county governments. 6, that the ODM party will support credible austerity measures in the executive and in parliament. These two institutions have been expressly indicted by the people as citadels of largesse and wastage, with fresh memory of the invasion of parliament and standing threats for occupation of the executive seat of power. These two institutions must have an honest introspection on their contribution to our current predicament and take measures to lessen the taxpayers' burden. As a party funded by taxpayers ourselves, we will also be taking steps to scale down on our presence across the country and some of our activities to reflect this new economic reality. Lastly, that ODM shall initiate and lead recall processes in the following constituencies in light of the current office holders' repeated violation of their sacred oath and the wishes of their electorate. Number 1, Game constituency. Number 2, Bondo constituency. Number 3, Navaholo constituency. Number 4, Kajiado Central. Number 5, Ikolomani. And lastly, Suba South in Homa Bay. Thank you. That is the end of the statement.
Very good. Yeah, we do.
Eric.
My name is Jeff.
Jeff, yes. Sorry.
I've seen the minority leader in the minority in the National Assembly. And during this time of crisis, when Kenyans are asking, the Parliament, National Assembly, have to go for a recess during this period. What actually transpired? Because when that decision was being made, there was a blackout in Parliament in terms of coverage. The media was not allowed to cover that session.
Kirui, can I first take questions that are related to the statement we've read? Brian?
Yeah, I'm Brian Otieno from the Standard. Now, you say that you support the demands by the youths. One among the demands is the resignation of President Ruto. Do you support that?
The youth have spoken in clear and certain terms. Let us not pretend like we don't hear what they are saying. You have heard it, we have heard it, Ruto has heard it.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, the second question was that the kind of environment that the president is enabling right now, the suppression through police, do you think it supports his calls for dialogue?
No, because nobody believes what the president is saying. His actions and words are totally different. And what we have called for in our statement, first of all, is he must publicly speak to his police, publicly, and tell them that he knows what they are doing and Kenyans have asked that he stop. So if he doesn't stop that, really, there is really nothing to discuss. Many of the people he's looking for to have a discussion with are actually in custody. Let's look.
like you listed some 5 constituencies that you are going to initiate the recall.
6. Yes.
You know they are not the only ones who voted yes from the party. How did you arrive at the 5? And then secondly,
yes, the criteria was very simple. In our statement, we have said repeat offenders. Those who voted against the wishes of the people in 2023 and again did it in 2024 because there are few who met their Damascus moments this year.
There are some who voted no.
Yes, this is the criteria we have applied the look, and we want to be able to focus on these 6 as a lesson to all the others. Is there any other question?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Asanteni sana.
We were in a meeting with the party last week. And today it
Oh, okay. Todo tu mundo pero es como está. Mundo pero es como está.
Thank you, thank you.
Mike.
We don't have the just go.
Are you ready? You ready?